Okay, so in my other video that I've just done recently with the UPS battery thing for my router and solar weather station, this soldering iron decided that it didn't want to work anymore. So I figured I'd just do a quick video and see if I can figure out what's going on. So we'll just get stuck straight into it. So I can't remember how old this soldering iron is, but yeah, old. Old enough that it's still got screws in it that I can actually take it apart. It's a JCar one for those that know the brand here in Australia. Some of the brand of Duratec. I don't know if that's actually theirs or if it's just one they happen to resell or whatever it is. So I've got to pull this sticker off, which means it probably won't go back down properly when I take it off. After I take it off, rather. Or actually better still, I'll just take this little inner piece off. It looks like it's already either broken or designed to come off. Alright, so there's just a nut holding this piece in. Another piece down there that's all been glued on, just making it a little challenging to pull that off. So I'm kind of hoping it's just something like the switches decided to fail. Okay, so it's all apart. I've got this board out now. It's turned on, not plugged in, but turned on. So I'll just test all the leads just to make sure that all the power's going the way it should be. Alright, have an earth, neutrals there, and where's my active go to? Over there. Yep, lovely. Now normally this would be a problem. So I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'll just move it out of the way. This capacitor here's had its covering ripped off. That's because it got stuck in the glue. So not necessarily worried about that. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that as I'm going through here. Now there's nothing physically obvious. Sometimes these capacitors will blow up. Make sure the big resistor's okay. Quite sure where that is. I've done a nice job of soldering this up. That's okay. So our resistor looks a little bit toasty, but so it's this resistor here. Can't quite read the value, but looks like about 100 ohms. But when I had it there before, it wasn't measuring it. It's the wrong value. It's the wrong colours for what it's measuring. Might have to desolder that and have a look at it. Alright, that'll be a job for another day, but at least it's not something obvious, which is a bit more of a shame because at least it'll be easier to do then. Alright, time to have a better look at this soldering iron that decided to die on me the other day. can't be that hard. There's not enough components on here for it to be too much of an issue. So I'll just measure the obvious stuff up first. 1K, yep, that's right. 10K, yep, that's right too. Yeah, that's got the wrong number straight up. Should be a 1. $32K, I don't know what that's measuring, but it's not what it should be. I can't quite see what this thing is here. I'll see if I can hit it with a bit of light and get a bit of a better understanding as to what it is. No, even better, I'll just take a photo. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's a, just in case you can't, it's a B1136 transistor, so that's probably going to be okay as well. We'll just measure it anyway. It's not giving me a reading anyway. Maybe it is unhappy. Okay, well let's desolder a couple of components here and see what we've got going on, because there's a transistor and the resistor seem to be very unhappy. Alright, let's get these desoldered and we'll drop them out. Alright, bit of solder to finish off the removal bit. Alright, that's the resistor out. There's a bit of a hot spot on the board there from where it was as well. Now I can read that properly. It actually says BT136. I still don't know what it is, but that's okay. Quick Google and we'll know what it is. I'll just remeasure this resistor and see if it is actually dead. Now I'll have another go at this transistor. See if it measures differently out of the board. Well, it's measuring weird. I don't know what it is. Better look it up. There we go. So it's a triac. So I'm probably not going to get a reading other than what I did. So I'm probably going to say that's okay. So I think I'll just throw another resistor in it and see what happens. So the color code on this resistor is all browns. So I'll see if I can find something similar. So what's that? 22 ohms, 220 ohms. Okay, so after getting my facts straight, remembering that brown is 110 ohms, I found a board that has 2 resistors just here that in parallel make 110 ohms. So I'm going to pull these out and see if I can make them work in the other board, because they're a bit, these are vertically mounted obviously, which makes it a little bit harder to stretch it across to where it's got to get to on the other board, but that's okay, I'll figure it out. Going to be a bit tight for space in there too. Okay, one's out. No, you can't see it, but there's a little clutter of it as it fell out. There we go, and there's the other one. Alright, so we have our 2 resistors there that parallel up, make 110 ohms. So I'm thinking I've got plenty of space underneath, so I might try and mount them underneath. Then I might try and mount them so that one's facing one way and one's facing the other way. So I'm just going to solder them up like that. So you can see that I've got the tails just turned around each other, and then I'll just solder them in together. I think I can put it back on the board. It's going to be really tight though, so I'm just going to mount it underneath. I think it'll also give it a little bit more space for a bit of heat dissipation as well. Alright, I'll just put this triac back in as well. There's even a T on the board, I didn't see that before either, so it tells me it's a triac. I've just got to clean up this board a little bit, because I can't quite get to where the triac's got to go in. solder this back in. Maybe. I keep pushing it out. Okay, that's the tracking. Now I'll figure out how I'm going to mount this resistor. Now I'm just going to see if I can clean this board up a little bit, because it made a bit of a mess of it. I already had a mess on it. Try not to look at my terrible soldering. Oh my god, that is actually appalling. Okay. And the pad's come off. So I'm going to have to solder that to that one, and then into that one. There we go. Alright, well let's put it back together and see if it works. Wonder if I have to make sure I get the that little capacitor green cap back onto its glued spot. Now, yeah, as I said, I can't remember how long I've actually had this soldering iron for, but it's been a number of years. Plug that back in and see if we either get smoke or action. Soldering iron's there. Guys here. Plug the other one. Okay, well the inverter certainly said it was plugged into something. Oh, and there's smoke. Ooh, smoky. Oh. Well, they got hot enough to fall off. Right then. They got hot enough to melt the solder back off. That's quite impressive. Okay, maybe that triac's not happy. Well, we'll leave that for another day. That was a bit of a failed project. Should have been a fairly simple one, but that's okay. These things happen. It's always worth a shot just to see if you can repair something. maybe the heater element in the actual soldering irons failed. Yep, that resistor's really, really hot. Alright, well thanks for coming along on the journey on one of my failures. You always got to have them. That's okay. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what I did wrong if you know these soldering irons, because I don't. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.